Good morning and welcome to the Elevate Renatus team call. This is your host, Keely Austin. Today is Wealth Wednesday. It is January 6th, and I am excited to be here with you today. Our quote of the day is accuracy builds credibility. Jim Rohn. We've got our conference dates, our national conference dates. This is going to be a lot of fun, 3 full days of online training with our CEO, Bob Snyder, as well as many amazing leaders from the nation or from a national standpoint. Mark your calendar for March 18th through the 20th. We've got 3 full days of fantastic training. You definitely want to be present for all 3 days. Our theme is shifting higher into focused transformation. We have our dates for Leaders Retreat. We're going to be going to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. Super excited to see you all there. That's going to be August 13th through the 17th. I just mentioned the Founders Live this week was awesome. Every Monday we have a Founders Live at 4 p.m. Mountain Time. There are 3 kinds of people in this world: people who make it happen, people who watch what happens, and the people who wonder what happened. So if you're making it to the Founders Live, you're definitely making it happen and watching what happens. So we have a couple of daily, weekly events that I'd like to cover. We have our weekly Private Capital Masterclass. That's every Thursday at 6 p.m. Definitely plug into this. It's been very valuable. Watch your classes, of course, especially the ones built around private capital, and then bring your questions and stories to the masterclass every Thursday. And every day we have our dream call, the daily real estate action mastermind. That falls right after this call from 9 a.m. to 9:45 Mountain Time. As you're out there taking action, watching your classes and analyzing deals, bring your questions to the dream call. It's been very valuable for me. And then on Fridays, we have our fabulous Friday morning with Lily. If you've been with us for a while, you understand that we've been doing our meetings Monday through Thursday for many years. And now we have added on Fridays. So it's really nice to have Lily with us training on Fridays. And then last but not least, we have our Zoom up call that is daily, Monday through Friday at noon. It's only about 20 minutes long. And it's incredible because we are getting to learn from all kinds of different people across the nation on what they've done with Renatus, the success they've reached, some of the struggles that they've had. And it's just really powerful to get your guests in front of that Zoom call, the Zoom up call. So that's at noon again. And we do record those. You can find the whole playlist. I think there's at least 50 of them now on the YouTube channel. OES.com just talks about the optional event subscription, what that is and why you want to be a part of that. So here is our weekly events. We've got our Wednesday events. So today at 7 p.m. we have our house tour offered in English. So every Wednesday at 7 p.m. a virtual house tour, fantastic exposure for your guests. So make sure you are getting your guests in front of the virtual house tour. And then we also have at 7 p.m. an AIT bonus track study group offered in Spanish. Thursday, we have many different events to choose from. So we have our house tour offered in Spanish on Thursdays at 7 p.m., as well as our Pillars of Wealth intro presentation, our follow-up and funding webinar, our onboarding session, as well as an essential study group and multifamily wholesaling and short-term rental study groups. We have a couple of resources here that you want to be a part of. You can find these recordings. We record these morning calls on the Facebook page as well as on YouTube. Our Facebook page is Renatus Team Elevate. A lot of important announcements there, plus you get to network, ask questions, and catch these recordings. And then our YouTube channel, you can catch the Zoom up call recordings as well as these morning calls. So take advantage of those resources. Today is Wealth Wednesday. We get to learn from Daine Clark. Daine Clark is absolutely killing it in Renatus on both sides, making a lot of progress with marketing as well as with real estate. So we are super fortunate to get to spend an hour with Daine every single Wednesday morning and get to learn what's working for him, as well as get coaching from him as well, which is incredibly valuable. Daine, before Renatus, was working 2 jobs. He was working for Apple. He was actually kind of shy, so he was working in the back, counting cell phones as opposed to, on the floor talking to customers. And then he was also working as a roofer. So that was something that he fell into because his dad was a roofer. And with fair skin, red hair, being in the sun all day was definitely not his cup of tea. So he knew that he needed to make a change at the time because he was barely making ends meet. He heard about real estate investing and decided to look into it a little bit more and plugged into our Renatus system, applied what he was learning, listened to his mentors, And with the Velocity banking, he was able to use that as leverage as a down payment for a duplex where he lived in one side and rented out the other side. We fast forward to today. Now Daine has raised over $20 million from different investors to go towards various transactions. And his secret to that is consistency and frequency. He's now grown his team as well as that. So he is on the PIT, the President's Advisory Council, in training. So training to be on the PAC. And we are learning from a key leader this morning. So make sure to take notes. I'm excited for what Daine's got to share. Good morning, Daine. How are you doing?
I'm doing so good. Good morning, Keely. Good morning, everybody. Renatus Nation. I hope everybody had an awesome New Year's, Christmas, whole 9 yards. I guess we talked every single week through all that. So I guess last time we chatted was right before New Year's. So hopefully you guys had a wonderful New Year's. And I'm excited for today. In fact, I was thinking instead of doing our standard, let's make this a special, and let's actually go through and set some goals. Let's actually go through and I'll walk you guys through even my process that I like to do every beginning of the year, and sit down and say, all right, here's what I want. Here's what I want to do. Here's what I'm going to do for my vision board. And if my wife wasn't sleeping in our room right now, I'd probably take you into my room and show you my vision board, but I'll just have to tell you about it. But yeah, let's do that today. I do want to hear, though, let's go ahead and keep the accountability. Let's keep the accountability. Let me know how many conversations you had in the last 7 days around real estate investing. How many people did you get to an intro, follow-up, one-on-one? Let's see, we didn't have any intensive, so I'm trying to think other special events. Probably that would have been it. One-on-ones, follow-up. I don't think there was a house tour. Let's see, was there a house tour? I forget. Anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about, though. How many? And we got 66 people on the line, so I want to see 66 comments. Even if people say, hey, you know what? I had a goose egg. I had a goose egg this week. Didn't have any conversations. When you're honest with yourself, you begin attracting people to you when you actually talk to them, because people want to work with people that are honest. People want to work with people they can trust. And so even if I have no real estate investing conversations in a 7-day period, I still report it for myself. And so yes, love it. Look at all these comments. Perfect. Keep them coming. We got 70 people on the line now, so I want to see 70 comments. How many conversations did you have around real estate investing last 7 days? Let's see it. Cool. Keep those coming. I need help with closing, bro. All right, Sheldon. No worries. Oh, I love this. Look at these coming in. Okay. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to count my own and see how many conversations I personally had. I usually only count my one-on-one conversations personally. And so let's see, we were out of town, got back. And so let's see, so far, yeah, it would have just been this week basically. So in the last 7 days, I did one one-on-one. Set up a bunch of calls for next week. In fact, I think last week I was talking about some of the things I've been doing, some of the questions I've been asking. I showed my favorite one that I've still been using, and I'm loving it. Like, now I've had actual one-on-ones after using some of those questions that we talked about last week. And oh, I love it, because they are just, it puts them in the right mindset. So look at this, look at all these comments. These are awesome. All right, let's give some let's see. All right, Dan had one, Farhad had two, Doug had one, Scarlett had three, Lorene and Joe had a couple of goose eggs. Esther had 4 conversations, 3 registered for the house tour this evening. Great job. GS had 2. Ruthie had 1. I'm guessing that's 1 order and 1 one-on-one. Great job. Carla had 1. Bertha had 4. Anna had 2 one-on-ones. Nina had 2 conversations, 1 continued follow-up with a colleague who was interested but afraid to start. Steve had 3. Sheldon, we will definitely be talking about closing. We might not get that today because I'm going to do a special, but make sure that you're on here next week, and we'll talk about that if you'd like. Daniel had 1. Laura had 1 essentials, 2 follow-ups that says they're in. 3 of the conversations. Alvin talked to 11, had 6 exposures, 3 one-on-ones. Sheena had 5. Luis had 1. Virginia 6. Belen, Goose Egg, Jared, at least 100. I make a lot of calls. Yes, you do. Great job, Jared. Chi had 2. Deborah 2. John 2. Deborah Brick. Oh, Scott Buchholz had a house tour on Sunday in Hawaii. Charles had 5. Isaac had 1. Grace had 2. Keely had 2 one-on-ones, 2 more today. Great job. Stanley, 8 to 10 combos, 10 scheduled, 8 scheduled for Velocity Banking, sent 10 plus recordings for the introduction. Great job, Stanley. Carla, 10 on property tour. Bobby, 4 people. Stanley, 1 order. Rick, 3 combos. Josh, 3 one-on-ones. Corey and Ron, 4, 1 committed to place an order, 1 placing full combo. And Jeffrey had a chicken egg. Those are not quite shaped like a 0, but I'll take it. No, just kidding. Bruce had 1. Brian had 3 conversations and 1 one-on-one scheduled. Great job, guys. Even though we're turn of the year, work is still happening. So this is great. I'm excited to put a few more combos in this month. You know what's crazy is the top 5 spot right now in the big competition for the Danube River Cruise. I'm not sure if many of you knew this, but I think, don't quote me on this because I don't know exactly, but I believe the 5th place spot would only take somewhere in the 50 to 60,000 range, which that's like, I don't know, 5 to 6 combos. 5 to 6 cash combos would probably get you into the number 5 spot right now. I'm guessing. So just food for thought. Would love to see you at the Danube. Right? It's crazy. And I thought this last year. In fact, I got to say this. Not last year, 2 years ago. When did we do London? 2 years ago. I remember when they came out with the London competition, and they're like, oh yeah, top 5 top 10 and their spouse and a +1 is going to London. And I remember the first thought that entered my mind on that was like, oh man, that would be really cool to see who goes to that. I didn't think that I'd even be able to do that. And it was crazy because I was working, and then I showed it to my wife, and she's like, dude, you're doing that. I want to go to London. I've never taken my wife out of the country, other than like a cruise, which, I don't quite count because you're mostly on the boat and you get to jump off for like 2 hours and then you got to jump, you got to hurry and get back on. Anyway. But when I got called up as 2nd place in the London competition, I could not believe it. I could not believe it. The personal production, right? Most of the people that are making money in this, in Renatus, they've been in here for years, right? And they got a huge team. And Bob leveled the playing field by saying, hey, If you put an order in, then you get credit. But if your team puts the orders in, you don't get credit. So cool of Mr. Bob Snyder to, yeah, it is not that far away to become, to get into that top 5. Would love to see you guys there. Okay, just wanted to say that. Okay, so let me share my screen. So today, this is the first one of 2021. I want to go through, and I might make this a series actually, because I have a couple of things that I like to do. A very methodical process, if you will, to set my own goals and to ensure that I do them, right? And so this will actually be good for me because I haven't quite done some of these things yet. And so we'll do it together over the next few weeks. And we'll walk through that process. But let me share my screen and let's talk about this. Okay. So let me, and I may go grab my notebook really fast so I can make sure that I get this. In fact, yeah, let me do that. I have this sleeping pill, so I'm not going to say anything when I run in there. And so you guys be quiet too. Somebody tell a joke or something like that. So give me 1 sec.
Don't have many jokes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Listen, I am in a dilemma here. I understand foreclosures, default foreclosures, and I want to focus in on that only because that's something I'm familiar with. I could help people stay in their home. And so I'm trying to figure out how I can continue on to do Renatas. And I have the essentials, but in order for me to do foreclosures, I have to go to AIT. And at this time, I'm not in a position to buy that education. So anyone has any suggestions how I can continue on to do Renatas? And I'm learning the essentials, but the essentials don't have anything to do with foreclosures right now.
Yes, I definitely can speak to that if you would like me to. Let me pull this up so I can watch the chat. And it doesn't show me who came up with me. Who was this? Just so I can make it personal.
Al Noble.
Hal. Okay. Welcome, Hal. Is this one of the first times that you've been on? Al. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. Al.
No problem.
Okay. Let's see. How do I? Oh, participants. There we are. Okay. Al. All right. Perfect. So Al, is this one of the first times you've been on one of my calls by chance?
No, I've been on several calls.
Okay.
I've been
Cool.
listening
So
to
you've
you
seen...
for a little while about how to present as an ICM
Okay.
the education.
So here is what I do to balance the two, right? Because like Keely said in the beginning, I do a lot of real estate, yeah, love it, but I also do a lot of marketing. And when people ask me, like, Daine, how in the heck do you do so much real estate and close so much Renatas business? In my opinion, it's because some people discriminate. The person that they're talking to fits in a box that they think they should fit in. And my opinion on this is that we should not discriminate. We just need to become a detective to say the person that I'm talking to, I'm going to help them in one of 3 ways, maybe 4, right? And we'll maybe go through this at a later date. But in essence, if you're talking to somebody, you might find somebody that's going to be your private bank so that you can go do real estate with, right? And I got some crazy stories on, like, the very first deals I ever did were on accident because I was sitting there trying to market Renatas, and the person it took me a minute to learn that, you know what, you don't need to buy Renatas. I just need to take your money and go find a deal because you've got a ton of it and you don't have no time, right? So people might become your bank. People might jump on your real estate team. I'm talking attorneys, realtors, title agents, right? Professionals, basically, lenders, contractors, subcontractors, right? People are going to get actively involved with you, and you're going to chat with that person and do business with them essentially. And these actually are these are your referral bases, right? This is where you get referrals, the active column, if you will. The third one is you might buy their house. They might have a property that you can help them with and purchase, right? When I see people talk like, oh, I need to do foreclosures. I need to find foreclosures. That's great. That's a good way to find. It takes a lot of time, takes a lot of money to do advertise. You know, if you want to start a business doing that kind of specific of a thing, then you can do that. But if you choose to say, you know what, I'm going to go have real estate investing conversations with every human that crosses my path, and I'm going to figure out where they fit. Are they going to be passively involved? Are they going to be actively involved? If they're going to be actively involved, they probably need Renatus, right? Just like you are choosing to be actively involved, you need Renatus. I chose to be actively involved. I needed Renatus, right? And so those people, I give them Renatus. That is one of the reasons I'm in, let's say the top 5, because I choose to have lots of conversations with people. I do not discriminate. I figure out what they need and I say, all right, that's what I can give you. So passive, active, or I'm going to buy your house. I'm going to purchase your property essentially, or somebody who has a property, and more stories that I could sit and tell, right? The last option, the number 4, is they're just they're plain old not interested in anything, right? They don't want to get involved. They don't have any money. They don't have any property. They're just like, bleh, whatever. Get those people out of your life. Circle back with them, maybe once a year type of thing, whatever, right? So those are the 4: passive, active, property, and they have some kind of underlying problem, or they know someone who has an underlying problem that they can connect us with, or not interested, we'll circle back later, right? So those are the 4. Do not discriminate. Just go have lots of conversations. Naturally, you will find all 4. Naturally, you'll do real estate deals. You'll close combos. You'll bring in Renatus students, and you'll find property, right? And in fact, it was funny because I got a friend who bought Renatus maybe a year and a half ago, and just last night I was talking to him. He's like, Daine, I've been trying so hard to find the deal, and I finally caught on to what you're trying to say when you're talking about these 4 boxes basically. And I just put it out in the universe that I was chatting, and then all of a sudden I'm analyzing a property. I'm analyzing my first deal, and I thought that I was going to have to go knock on 1,000 doors. I thought I was going to have to go, send all these postcards, put signs on the side of the street. And he's like, no, it feels too easy. He's like, Daine, what you're teaching, it feels too easy. And here I am analyzing this property that I could probably buy. And I was like, you're catching on. You go have conversations and you do not discriminate. You just figure out which box each person is in, and then you help them. And if they're in the Renatus box, give them Renatus. If they're in the active box and they need Renatus, give them Renatus. They will thank you. I call the person who enrolled me into Renatus at least 3 times a year, right? He's not even in Renatus anymore. I call the person who invited me to come and check out Renatus and sold Renatus to me 2 to 3 times a year. And I say, dude, I am so grateful that you called me and said, you should come check this out. And when I learned oh, you just want me to buy your thing, you want me to buy your real estate MLM, I was like, ugh. But I wanted to do real estate bad enough. And I saw that real estate was being done. So I did it. And now I call this guy and say, dude, I am so freaking grateful that you built up the courage to call me and say, Daine, you need to check this out. Right. So anyway, I hope that helps. I hope that helps, Al. But let's I'm gonna shift gears though, and we're gonna chat about this.
Thanks a
Yes,
lot.
Farhad, thank you.
Daine, if you're writing on your board, we're
I'm
not seeing it.
Am I
Now
now?
we are seeing it. Yeah.
Cool. All right. I
Just
haven't
wanna make sure
been
we're-
writing.
Okay.
I've just been on my soapbox. Okay. Okay. So every year, right? In fact, I do this multiple times a year because of the way that I set up. The way that I set up my vision board, it denotes to my brain that we're going to achieve these things faster than we thought humanly possible. Okay. So that's what I want to go over with you guys today. Alvin here, let me give you the 4. So passive, active, property with an underlying problem, and not interested yet. And that's the key, not interested yet, okay? So passive, active, property with an underlying problem, not interested yet. These are the 4 boxes that I become a detective to figure out where every single person is. I can tell you right now where every single person on this call is. If you're a Renata student, most likely you're right here. Even if all you want to do is passively lend your money, you want to actively market and start a business lending your money. And so people buy Renata, people literally buy Renatas because they have a lot of money. They just want to be where deals are happening and lend to them, right? I guess you could argue that I'm one of those. I love to passively put my money to work, but I actively am involved in doing or finding and putting together those types of deals, okay? So anyway, these people get introduced to Renatas. Okay, let's talk vision board. Okay, a couple of things, right? That we probably don't have time to go into the scientific aspect of this, but just take my word for it or try this out in and don't deviate from what I'm sharing here, and you'll see what's been working for me. Okay. So let's just talk functionality real fast. Okay, we'll get the boring stuff out of the way. So when I create a vision board, right, you want to be able to just open up the creativity, right? No boundaries. You want to be able to sit down and just dream, right? Sometimes there's 2 versions of a vision board, right? So I want to make sure this is clear. Sometimes there's 2 versions of a vision board. Sometimes there is like the 1,000-foot view, if you will, the 1,000-foot view and the 100-foot view. Okay, because sometimes when you have something on your vision board that is so far out there in comparison to where you are right now, for example, some people might have on their vision board, I want to do 100 real estate deals, but they have never even bought a house in their life, right? That was me. When I bought Renatas, that was me. I had never even bought a house. I didn't even know what a real estate purchase contract, I didn't even know what a realtor was when I bought Renatas. And so for me to say, hey, I want to do 100 real estate deals, 1,000-foot view, right? That's a lot of things to happen. There's going to have to be a lot of things in the middle of that before I get to that goal, right? And I would even probably argue that even doing my first deal, even to do my first deal would probably have been 1,000-foot view kind of a goal, because I didn't have money, I didn't have credit, I didn't have the know-how, I didn't have the crews, I didn't have, again, I didn't even know what a realtor was, right? So just be aware that some of the goals that you put on here might be in one of those 2 categories. Like, hey, I'm here, and to reach this goal is going to be here, or I'm here, and to reach this goal is going to be here, right? Way up here, out of the screen even, right? So something to note. Now, let me go to 100% so I can zoom out. Okay, when I set up a vision board, I believe that you should have no more no less than 9 things on your vision board at any given time, right? Some of you have commented or told me like, Daine, you look like you're really organized. Wasn't always that way, but I heard from some very, very smart people that if you organize yourself, everything gets organized, right? How you do one thing is how you do all things. So if you organize yourself, then your finances are organized, your budgets are organized, the things you want. I even organize my vision board, okay? So I want to share with you, and I do want to say that I didn't just do this. This is scientific, okay? So 9 things on the vision board at one time. 9 things, right? Now I've got 9 categories that I like to put on there. Some of these are for like memory joggers, but again, some of these are for how you do one thing is how you do all things. And so if you set goals in areas of your life, different areas of your life that you want to improve in, a rising tide raises all ships. And so let me give you these 9 categories, right? The top left, and again, because of right brain, left brain stuff, this don't change this. Top left, money. Pick a goal, pick a money goal in, and put that on your vision board, right? Some people, like, a lot of it is just like money stuff or whatever. And some people just like, oh, just whatever comes, right? But I'm going to say, sit down and set a money goal. If I give you my personal example, I have never yet, or I should say this differently, I am going to experience a $200,000 month, right? Have never experienced that in my life yet, but I'm going to find out, okay? And so my current money goal on my vision board is I want to experience a $200,000 month, right? Just to give you guys an example. I don't want to give you guys all examples because I want the creativity to come from you. But the money one is just, typically it's just a dollar amount, okay? And so create some kind of money goal. And remember, 1,000-foot view, 100-foot view. Remember where you are or where you've been already, and how much are you going to have to stretch to hit that goal. Don't set it, don't set it too far. Don't set it too far away from where you've already gone. Okay, I've already had $100,000 months in my life, and so to set that 200 is just like, all right, I have to do exactly what I did in those. I think the biggest one I've ever had was like $130,000 in a month. I need to do that times 1.7 or whatever that is. Okay, and so anyway, money. Next one on the list is my image. How do I want to be seen by others, by myself, my reputation? How do I want to show up in the world and be seen? Okay, now this one is interesting because typically when you set a goal, you need to know, like when you set this image goal, you need to know how, or you need to answer this question: how will I know that I got this? How am I going to know that I achieved this goal? Right, and this one's tough because the image, could go so many different ways. Okay, and so my image. How do I show up? How do people see me? What is that reputation of me? And the most important thing is that you need to know, you need to have a trigger that if certain things happen, that you're just like, oh my gosh, I achieved this. I achieved this goal. Okay, so it's going to take a little bit of thinking. And how do you know that you got it? Okay, I'm going to make sure I put that specifically. How do you know? It was achieved. How do you know it was achieved? Okay. Make sure, because that will be important. You need to know. Okay, and I'm gonna be watching comments as we go. Okay, next one, spiritual. However you choose to do your spirituality, that's up to you. Again, no discrimination. However you choose, spiritual. I missed the boat on that one. Spiritual. Okay, choose whatever it is you want, but something spiritual. I don't care if it's that you go out and you talk to trees. Doesn't matter to me. Just pick something that is basically, pick a higher power that is bigger than you, right? If you don't believe in certain things that people believe in, then just pick something that's bigger than you, like a tree, like a mountain, okay, whatever, right? Some people obviously choose the Christ, Holy Ghost, those types of things. That's fine. Just pick something, higher power that's bigger than you that you can connect with spiritually, okay? Pick something. And set a goal in that spirituality, okay? Next is family. Again, doesn't matter if you are married or you're not, right? Everybody has family, or everybody has family figures. And if you don't get that, what is your family figure, right? Whether that is, biological or not, doesn't matter. Set a goal for something family, right? Nicer house, more vacations, right? If I'm gonna get to stuff like that that's specific in a moment, but for the family unit, let me give you one that I did a couple of years ago. One of the things on my vision board was that I wanted to take my entire family, my mom, my dad, all of my brothers and sisters and their spouses and all of their kids. I think it was like 18 people. I wanted to take all of those people, 18 of them, to Disneyland on my dime. That was so cool to write the check for 18, basically 18 tickets to Disneyland and accommodation for 18 people to sleep for 7 days right near Disneyland, and to pay the meals for 18 people for I think it was 8 days. It was so cool. That was one of the goals. Daine, could you share one of your spiritual goals? I had one that I wanted to finish the Bible, right? I wanted to finish the Bible all the way through. And another thing that I've actually got on there right now is, because again, we don't discriminate what kind of spirituality, but I wanted to finish the Book of Mormon. That is, something that's very similar to the Bible, just in Americas instead of Jerusalem. And so I wanted to finish that book. Some other spiritual goals that I had. I want, and again, this is actually going to help, because again, how do you know that you achieved it? I finished the book, achieved it. Another one that I had was I wanted to pray every single day for a 30-day period, right? Very, very specific. How do I know I achieved that? Well, did I pray today? And I track that every single day. I wanted to start getting into the habit where I pray every single day for a 30-day period. That's how I know that I got it, because 30 days running every single day. If I didn't pray one of those days, didn't achieve it, right? Again, how do you know that you're going to get it? Okay, spiritual, family, fitness, health, okay, that kind of stuff, fitness, health, those kind of goals. And again, how do you know when you achieve it? Okay, this many pounds. One of the things that I did last year was I wanted to take 4 new people mountain biking with me, because for some reason me and going to the gym, boring. Sorry if that's you. but I just don't like, going to the gym. I like to ride my mountain bike. I like to hike. I like to, I like to do other active things. I'm one of those that will get up and do push-ups and pull-ups in the morning for just a few minutes and then go on my merry way. And so I set a fitness goal that actually revolved around me getting out of my shell. Again, how you do one thing is how you do all things. And so I was like, you know what? I want to go mountain biking with other people. And I want to do that 4 times, with other people in a month. Again, how do I know that I achieved it? I had, and again, I didn't say that I wanted to do it by, July 31st. And I'll get into that in just a minute. But I said, I want to do this 4 times in a 1-month period. And I will work to achieve that until I get it. Okay. So, and we can work backwards and say, hey, this is how I could do this in the month of July or whatever. But that wasn't the goal. I want to do that in a 30-day period. Okay. So next one is love. Right? Some kind of love goal. If you're married, this one can be easy. Again, how do you know that you achieved it? One of my examples was I wanted to date my wife 4 times in 1 month. Date her 4 times in 1 month, basically every Friday. Okay. Some people are would be like, I need a girlfriend. That you could put on here. I need a boyfriend that you put on here. How do you know you got it? Who do you talk to every single day, right? You achieve that. Okay. So set some kind of a love goal. Okay. So Celia's asking, how do you track some of these things? Some of them, it's fairly easy. I go back to my calendar, like the 4 mountain biking in a month, because I track my calendar shows exactly what I do. And so if I went mountain biking with somebody, it would be in my calendar that I could say, oh my gosh, I went 4 times. Okay. Of course, money, counting, stuff like that, the spiritual, did I finish the book? Okay. So, and we're going to get into some more stuff. Again, I want to make this a series. And so Cecilia, I'll get into the things that you want to track, because again, sometimes these are 100-foot view, even if they're not that far out, sometimes they're 100-foot view and there's still going to be something in between that. Okay. And so, yes, Tuesday is a great day. Movies are only $5. Yes, Pete, exactly. All right, moving on, because we got to hurry. Okay. The next one is education and or career. Okay, basically just development, right? Developing the career, developing education. This could be the thing like, because this one is not like I want to flip a house. This one is like, no, I want to make this much money in this period of time. Okay, and I better also say that the vision board thing, the 1,000-foot view, 1 to 5 years, I think is fine. Okay. The 100-foot view, 3 to 6 months. You know what though? I even feel like 6 months is too long. Okay. I'm going to say 2 to 3 months. Okay. 100-foot view, 2 to 3 months is you want to do these like 90-day sprints, if you will. Okay. 2 to 3 months. Okay, so education and career. This could be like, I've got a student that just set a goal to say, you know what, I am going to go part-time. He's working 2 jobs, or not part-time, he's working 2 jobs, 1 full-time, 1 part-time. And he's like, I want to start making enough money that I can quit the part-time to just focus on buying real estate and running my new side hustle business. Okay, and so that would be a career goal. How do you know you got it? I walked into my office and I said to my boss, 2 weeks, I'm out. Right? How do you know you got it? Okay, education, career. This one is your guilty pleasure, your hobby. Hobby. Guilty pleasure, right? I should say guilt-free. Guilt-free, what do you want? Okay, anything, hobby, passion, right? What do you want? That, who cares what anybody else thinks? I want this. Okay, hobby, passion, something like that. For example, I have, my mountain bike on there. That mountain bike is a one-person thing. Only one person can fit on it, and so kind of selfish. But I guess one thing that I did do in setting that mountain bike goal that I wanted was that if I bought one for me, then I'd buy one for my wife. Sure. But yeah, hobby, passion, something that you specifically want, guilt-free. This is just for you. Okay. This last one, fulfillment. Okay. Again, bottom right, be thinking about where we are in like left brain, right brain, where these things are on the page or on the wall, right? On the vision board, where these things are. Okay. So fulfillment, I can't spell that. Fulfillment. And or things like travel. Okay, whatever that is, whatever fulfills you. This could be charity things, travel, starting. Anything that makes you feel fulfilled. Anything, travel, whatever. Okay. So, in fact, I think that let's see. I'm trying to remember where I put the Disneyland thing. I can't remember if the Disneyland thing was, I think the Disneyland thing was here because that was kind of both. It was fulfilling to take the family and do that trip, all expenses paid on my dime. But it was fulfilling, right? So things like this, I think, my wife really wants a new house. And so stuff like that is what I've got on there for the family. Okay. We got our stuff. We got a few minutes here that I got to go through some things quickly. Okay. So here's a couple of rules. There's the kind of the template, and I'll zoom out so people can take screenshots here in just a minute. But I want to get to do this. Okay. So here's a couple of rules. Okay. Rules. First is, you want this to be like 2 feet by 2 feet. Yeah. In fact, I think I see Keely's right now in her background. If that's your vision board, Keely, right? Perfect. 2 feet by 2 feet. It's not teeny tiny. It's not a whole wall, but when she stands in front of it, from here to here, arm's length, she can see everything. Okay, perfectly. She doesn't have to like walk over here, whatever, or she doesn't have to zoom in. Okay, 2 feet by 2 feet is perfect. Because and again, in the series, we'll go through some of these things as to why these are important. We already got 9 at a time. We talked about that, like some things that you might, some people will have 2 vision boards, right? And if this is you, that's fine. Some people will have 2 vision boards. They'll have their 1,000-foot view vision board and they'll have their 100-foot view vision board. There's no issue with that. But just make sure that whatever you put on there, just recognize which one that is, right? Is this a 1 to 5 year thing, or is this a 100-foot view thing? Okay, are we going to get this? Are we going to get this year, or in the next few months, or is this going to be like the big thing? Okay, the lofty. Okay. When you put it on a wall, and we could go into the significance of putting it on a wall, but in essence, put it on a wall. Okay, you want it to be eye level, that you can stand, not sit, stand and look at it, eye level, right next to it. Okay, because there actually be some practices that we go through like that create inspiration, again, spiritual. Okay, so make sure it's eye level. Oops, sorry, I'm not writing this down. Eye level. Okay, next, make sure that it is a high traffic area for you. You need to pass this even subconsciously, okay? High traffic area. You need to pass this even subconsciously. I mean, you obviously the more powerful is to consciously look at it, but you need to pass it subconsciously just as much as you, would consciously, if not more, subconsciously. Okay, high traffic area. You see this every day, no matter what. Right? For me, I sleep right here. My vision board is right there. Right? I look up, vision board's right there. I sleep right next to it. I see it. I see it every time I put my underwear on, okay? Or my socks. Okay. Here's a cool thing. You want it to be both visual and how would you say audible, but in writing? You want to have visuals, but you also want to have your handwriting. Let's put that. Okay, and I know we're probably going to go over just a little bit, but your handwriting. So visual, I mean pictures, and your handwriting. If you look at my vision board, I have in each one of these spots, I have a picture, just like a 5x7, I guess, a 5x7 picture, and then I stick a sticky note on it, right at the bottom, where I've got a sticky note, and I've got my handwriting. Okay? Again, scientific. Your handwriting takes certain areas of the brain to do that. Okay, visual, your handwriting on that, and make sure they're in the proper. I'm gonna put this one. Make sure they're in the proper order because of left brain, right brain. That kind of stuff. Make sure it's in the proper order. Okay, and we could go. I'm just going to briefly brush over this one, and maybe we'll go into the next part of the series on this. Okay, so proper order, but this last one, negative self-talk. There's something specific that I want you to do with this. Okay, negative self-talk. Negative self-talk is. I mean, you guys know this. I don't need to tell you. Negative self-talk is going to happen on your 1,000-foot view ones especially, but also the 100-foot view ones, because most of the time when you set a goal, it's because you don't, we'll talk about the do. Yes, Keely. Most people, when they set a goal, it's because they've never done that before. It wouldn't be a goal if it wasn't something they never done before. So negative self-talk, here's what you do with it. You want to put the negative self-talk, this is really cool, the effect that this will have on you. So negative self-talk needs to be, one, in your handwriting. This is interesting. If you have a thought as to why you shouldn't, why you can't, why you won't do whatever you stick on that board, I want you to put that in handwriting, right? Put it in writing. I don't care if it's on a sticky note, on a piece of paper, it doesn't matter. In your handwriting, right? Whatever negative things come out, put those in your handwriting. Two, physically. So when I say your handwriting, I'm not talking Apple Pencil. I'm talking with a real pen, right? You guys remember what these are? Pen or pencil, doesn't matter. Okay, in your handwriting. And two, physically destroy it. There is a reason that the negative self-talk came out. It is because I shouldn't say come out. There's a reason the negative self-talk came up and entered the brain, right? Again, we go into the scientific stuff of this, but we're not going to, because I don't even understand half of it. I just know that this works, okay? So there's a reason the negative self-talk came up and entered the brain, because it's inside. If you allow it to come out on handwriting, on paper, physically, and you physically destroy it, all right, there's some really interesting things. You burn it with a candle. take, I love this. Nina says, I do that every week. Burn it in a candle and flame, put it into a foil lined plate, right? Yes. Go out in the backyard, put it in a tin can, light it on fire, tear it into 1,000 pieces and throw it in the trash can. I don't care. Just whatever makes you feel the most satisfied